Hello and welcome to SpaceEngine Exploration. So, I know a lot of you have been asking, where has the series been? Where's the next episode? It's because, well, I've been kind of dreading making this episode, to be honest. I've been trying to figure out what is the best way to record this episode. And, I think I've kind of decided on a format and I'm going to be testing it for this episode. But I've been getting so many suggestions because there's so many new viewers, so many new subscribers, and I greatly appreciate the support you guys are giving this series. But it also makes it very, very difficult to keep these episodes as short as I want to keep them, because I want to keep them around an hour long, and I don't really know how to completely fix and tackle the series. I don't want to do like a top 10 series or anything like that. But, yeah, it would still be very nice to kind of get to your guys' suggestions as much as I possibly can. So here's what I want to do. For future videos, it's going to be one suggestion per person per episode. I mentioned this would probably be coming about 40 episodes ago. I've said that, or something like that, some crazy amount of episodes ago. I said eventually it will turn into one suggestion per person per video, but yeah. And I might miss some of your guys' suggestions. There's so much clutter down in the comments, it's really hard to manage it. And sometimes the comments just don't even show up. I don't even know how to explain that, but sometimes I don't even see the suggestions. So yeah, if I end up missing your suggestion, just feel free to post it on the next video. It'll be perfectly fine. And I'll try to get to it then. Anyways, there is one other thing I want to mention. Actually, two other things. There's a channel called Venera13 Studios. He is a Canadian YouTuber who does a series very similar to this one. Go show him some love, go leave him some suggestions, and follow his channel. He does a lot of cool like KSP stuff, engineering stuff, science stuff. It's a really cool channel. The last time I actually mentioned his channel, I was at like 400 subscribers or something like that. And now I'm at almost 7,000, and he's still at 4,000. When I first mentioned his channel, he was still around somewhere mid 4,000 subscribers. So show him some love. He doesn't really get the attention he deserves on YouTube, and definitely check his channel out. And no. Anyways, the one last thing I want to mention is thank you guys for the amazing support on my latest animated video. That took me like a week and a half to make. This little crappy art tablet is garbage, and I do plan to replace it with something better since I am going to be turning that into a series officially. I do hope to make a lot more of those videos. I sold my gaming laptop, that's how dedicated I am to the series, and I plan on picking up something that has like a digitizer built in, like a Microsoft Surface or something that has like a Wacom driver and an actual pressure sensitive pen, to kind of help me with drawing on that series, because this off-brand $30 tablet I got here, this art tablet, is horrible. Like, just plain horrible. Like, if you're gonna buy a tablet, just buy Wacom. Don't touch the other brands. Wacom's the way to go. This cheap Chinese knockoff is just awful. Anyways, let's go ahead and continue on to the video. Alright, as promised, our first suggestion will be from Glarder. I've missed his suggestions for like the past 2 weeks, and I told him I would make sure his suggestion is at the top of the video, so let's go for it. His first suggestion is Titan, a moon of Saturn. Let's go ahead and go there. And here we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and turn off real planet brightness so we can get a better view of this planet. And a lovely view of Saturn in the background there. Titan, I do believe, is a moon that has potentially liquid oceans on it. And it's kind of one of the, how would you say it? Contenders for terraforming in the future. Now, I don't really know my facts about Titan, but I could make a video on it and do a bunch of research on it. In fact, what I've basically mentioned is really the extent of what I know. I know it has a very, very thick atmosphere, though. In the game, it shows 1.5 atmospheres of pressure, so it's a very... there's a bit more pressure than Earth, 50% more, in fact. And it looks like the compounds in the atmosphere are nitrogen and methane. The temperature of the planet is negative 178 degrees Celsius, however, so it is a very, very cold moon. It's not very detailed in the game. You can't really see any of the terrain features. In fact, I believe if I turn off the atmosphere, it just turns pitch black. Let's turn off the clouds. Oh no, it actually does have some detail. Let's go ahead and explore this. Now, since it is a textured planet and not a procedurally generated one, I don't expect it to have any bumps or actual detail. It doesn't appear to. So that's about the extent of what I know. Let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. Once again from Glider. Alright, so here's the next suggestion from Glider. I think it's incorrect about this, but it's another moon of Saturn. He explained it as a yin-yang walnut with a giant crater. That is the giant crater right there. That, or it might be right here. Not too sure. Let's go ahead and speed up time and get the light to get it to rotate a little bit and get an idea of what it looks like. It looks like half of it's dark and half of it is light. I wonder if that dark patch is the crater that's mentioned. But there's also a pretty detailed large crater right here. There's not much further description of this other than from what I can see in the class, it is an ice world. So that is pretty cool. And as you can see, it does have some bump mapping going on, so it's pretty detailed for a textured planet. The temperature on this world is negative 189 degrees Celsius. So, very cool. Does it have like any form? It doesn't show an atmosphere, so I'm not gonna expect any glow here. But yeah, look at this large mountain going across it. Its diameter is 1,436 kilometers as well. So, pretty cool. Alright, so here is the last suggestion from a Glider, and we're heading there now. It is V838 Monocerotis. That might be how that's pronounced. I'm not really too sure, but it is an oval-shaped star, it looks like. Now, I do believe this is because of it, like a super fast. He described it as a nova with a really cool nebula. I don't see a nebula around it at all. I do have the ID correct. I don't see a nebula in the area at all whatsoever. But in this game, it doesn't seem to have anything. It just looks like it is an oblong-shaped star. Let's turn down the exposure. The reason for doing this is hopefully so we can see the detail and get an idea of how fast the star is rotating. And that is rotating really, really quickly. Did not mean to open that. So it has a rotational period of every 38 hours. That's pretty crazy for a blue main sequence star. Here it is at real time. I cannot visibly see it rotating in real time, however. Yeah, decrease our field of view and look at the edge. We might be able to see it. I can see it moving slightly. But yeah, it is not a nebula or a nova in this game. I don't know if it is in real life, but it's certainly not in the game. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. Alright, so we're going to a random planet in a Milky Way looking galaxy. Is a Plan Nemo, it looks like. That or just a really dark planet. It's in fact a warm ice giant with a temperature of 86 degrees Celsius. That's interesting. But it has a semi-major axis of 0.42 astronomical units. This suggestion is from Grantiford. He says, I don't have a 4K monitor, but I'm sure this gas giant will look good in one. Okay. So I want to kind of dispel this a little bit. I play this game at 1080p because I record at 1080p, so it's in a window for me. I don't actually play it in native resolution. And what else was I gonna say? Yeah, the color accuracy on this monitor is garbage from what I've seen, comparing it to other screens, so it's not really the best experience in the world. It's really cool when you're playing games and stuff, though. Looks really nice, but when it comes to like image editing, for example, it's not great whatsoever. I have to kind of compare with other screens to make sure I got the colors right. It's that bad. Like, the yellow tints are just bad. But I don't even see this world, even with real planet brightness off, so let's turn up the ambient lighting. Why is it still pitch black? Okay, something tells me this is bugging. I'm gonna go ahead and just restart the game. Okay, so I am back in the game and it is still just pitch black. Well, it does have a semi-major axis of 469 astronomical units, but that does not explain why the ambient lighting is not, like, brightening it up. So, not really too sure. It's just pitch black. The star over there is pretty bright. It's actually a planet that's orbiting this star. A lot of these planets are black in this system. Even this one over here that is supposedly closest to the planet, or to the star. This is weird. Maybe some... Oh wait, no, it's because I have the atmosphere disabled. There we go. That explains a lot. Back to the other planet that you suggested. A really nice light blue planet. Let's go ahead and turn on real planet brightness so we can get an idea of what this actually looks like. It's in fact a little bit brighter and really nicely detailed. Very cool. Oh, and it's got some really nice detailed cloud layers. You can actually fly through the depth of them, I guess. Very cool. See what it looks like if we get the sun just shining right on the horizon of this planet. Got a little bit of a line here where the clouds are kind of stitching together. Yeah, that's a really neat view. Yeah, I did change the lens flare on the... Just figured I'd change it up a little bit. But let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. Alright, this next one is also from Grantiford, and he says, it is a nice Earth-like planet. Oh, okay, so it's one of these Terras that have a kind of purple and green fade to them. I don't know if that's actually purple life or not, but let's go ahead and fly down to this planet. Oh, look at that without the atmosphere. That definitely changes the appearance. Alright, let's turn that back on. And it's got these really lovely rings. Kind of a pinkish color, I would say. Maybe an orange. And it's got like this separated band right out here. Is there a moon actually clearing the inner rings there? Not that I can see. But let's touch down. Alright, so is this purple life we're looking at here? Nope, it looks to be green. It's mostly just atmospheric effects, it seems. Really neat looking. The atmosphere has a dark blue color that it kind of illuminates the distant hills with. This is a volcano that it has a cap on it. So it is not an active volcano. And it looks like we have a mountain range over here. some eroded hills with the sedimentary rock texture in its, as always, lovely orange color. And we got this really nice view of the rings here. They're kind of dim in the atmosphere, but let's go ahead and turn off real planet brightness. Okay, so that just dims it down a little bit. Not really much of a difference. Let's just turn on the time step real fast. Look at that lovely view. That is a beautiful view of the close to sunset on this planet. Looks kind of greenish over here. Don't know if it actually is greenish, but you know, like I said, this monitor I'm using is kind of trash. But let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. Alright, so here we go. This is a suggestion from Namikaze. I don't think there is a description. Oh, there is. Cool, very cool gas giant. Okay, so we got a coffee gas giant. A really cool appearance. I still have my field of view increased. There we go. Let's go ahead and correct that. And it is really, really nicely detailed. It looks like we are in the Orion Nebula, if I were to guess. Yep, that's what it appears to be. So it's got this really lovely backdrop. Let's go ahead and get this information off the screen and get a nice view of this gas giant. It's got a lot of different bands in it. And a few large storms it appears to have. Actually, no, I think that is the only large storm there is. Let's go ahead and speed up time and see what this looks like as it rotates. Now, what would be cool if there was like wind patterns moving off to the left as it rotates to the right. Ooh, there was a very large eclipse. That would be very cool if, you know, some kind of distortion of the texture could happen. I think it does happen in Universe Sandbox 2, or at least it is a, it's like 2 or 3 different textures passing over each other in Universe Sandbox 2. Moon to eclipse it. Oops, landed right on the moon. It is a blue desert of some kind. And there is the eclipse. And it's got kind of an Earth-like sunset, as you can see there. So that's pretty neat. This diffraction spike really shows off the colors of the sunset, as you can see there. You can see it kind of go through like multiple different colors as it elevates in the sky or the atmosphere of this planet. So that's pretty cool. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. Alright, so this is the next one from Namikaze, a system near the Central Galactic Cluster. 1101's black hole just pop up out of nowhere? If so, it'd be over there. Yeah, it's IC 1101. Let's get that black hole to render and then we'll go back to that suggestion. Let's get to the center here. There is the black hole. Oops, let's get that off the screen. For anyone who's wondering what my video settings are, there you go. Alright, now we're back at this star. Let's go ahead and pan our camera around. And there is IC 1101, a very, very big black hole in the center of this galaxy. I forget what the black hole itself is called, but the galaxy is called IC 1101. And that is a weird effect going on with the stars there, but that's just because I have it like decreased in field of view. And that looks like Brown Dwarf. Nope, it's just a hot gas giant. Close to its parent star. Flares are just all over the place in this galaxy. Very neat. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. Actually, let's speed up time and get this rotating a little bit. There we go. Alright, now let's move on to the next suggestion. Alright, this next suggestion is from Marvin Melchers, I think that's how that's pronounced, and what the heck is going on here? This is a quad Brown Dwarf system, with one of these having a messed up texture. I can see that. Well, at least, yeah, you have it confirmed that it's not just on your end. I definitely see this messed up texture. That is super weird. Let's go ahead and land on it. Just a black atmosphere, kind of pink color, green atmosphere. But once you actually get under here, it's like a black layer. Because I think these are just gas giants. Whoa. Okay, this is weird. I have no clue what's going on with this Brown Dwarf. Not seen anything like this in this game. That is a very cool thing. This is a quad Brown Dwarf system. There's a frozen ice world. Here's another Brown Dwarf. Is this the same Brown Dwarf? This one looks proper. Here is a red Brown Dwarf. Did you guys see that as I flew past that? Let's head back over to that red Brown Dwarf real quick. You can see the black one as we fly past. What is going on there? Is that the one with the messed up texture? Jeez. That is so weird. It's like a black hole almost. Yeah, somebody responded in the comments to this suggestion saying it turns into a black hole when you zoom out. Yeah, I can see that. That is a weird Brown Dwarf. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. Alright, so this next suggestion is from Derpsauce Gaming, and here we go. Alright, so it is a Brown Dwarf, a gas giant, gas and ice giant with life. And go to the other two close moons. I'm not going to go to the two close moons, but these have life, aerial life. Is there another one with life? So this is the one with life. Is there? Ah, here we go. And there is an Oceania with life. That's the only one I'm seeing with life. It's gas giant and a hot ice giant. Oh, I see. This moon, no. Is this a moon? Moon. There is an ice giant with life right here, which is a moon of that gas giant. Okay. Now I see what's going on. And these are orbiting around a red dwarf system. What is that? What are you? You are a scorched desert. I assume is heated by tidal effects. Let's see what we have going on here. Yeah, I don't think there is actually a area that shows tidal effects, unfortunately. But let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. Alright, so this star is apparently a deadly laser. Okay, well, it's pretty big. I'll give it that. This is once again from Derpsauce Gaming. So what makes this star a deadly laser? Is it because it's a zirconium star? Not really understanding or getting the reference here. Looks like a standard zirconium star. Because of the comet over here, possibly? Well, planet that's burning away, not really a comet. I wouldn't think so, but it has a weird asteroid next to it. And the atmosphere looks really awesome. Yeah, not sure I understand the reference, but I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. Looks pretty cool when it's actually moving though. Has like these solar winds beaming off of it, and you can see the comet tail moving. Pretty cool effect. Alright, so this next suggestion is from Chip. And I have things moving way too quickly. Anyways, looks like we have a blue, cool desert world orbiting around what I can only assume is the Milky Way. We're in a globular cluster above the Milky Way. And it's got some really lovely detail. You can see the cloud layer is really, what would you say, patchy? I guess patchy. Let's see if we can catch up with it. I still have it rotating very quickly. There we go. And we got a white atmosphere with some mountains that have snow caps on them. And these very, very large vibrant rings. And a white star out in the distance. I assume that's the one we're orbiting around, and it is a white main sequence star. Oh, no, wait. That is not the star, I think. Because the shadow of the ring is over there, so our host star, or at least our other host star, is possibly out in this direction. That might be it. And that is an orange dwarf. It's only got one shadow from what I can tell, though. Yeah, the one that seems to be casting the shadow is that yellow or orange dwarf. The white star, which I would think would be brighter, is not, so it must be considerably further away. Interesting. Let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. So this next suggestion is from Piyush Pardeshi. I can't pronounce that name. And it is the Eskimo Nebula. I do believe we've been here before. It looks very weird in this game because most of the nebulas have like a weird boxy shape. But it's clearly supposed to be like two plumes of like gas or matter being ejected out from some central, who knows, some white dwarf, or maybe I doubt a wolf riot star, but something along those lines, something that's just ejecting a ton of matter outwards. But yeah, there's probably no object in the center of this, unfortunately. A lot of the nebulas that you would think would have like a white dwarf or neutron star or something like that just don't seem to have them. I can't wait to get a hold of 9.8.1, where the nebulas are all going to be reworked. Because in 9.8.0 they're kind of just a bunch of particles, it seems to be, and not much more. But let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. So this next suggestion is from Danu Ball, and they say they got really lucky with the star system. The reason to it is that both the stars have almost the same layout. If you don't get it, I'll write the system chart for you so you better understand it. So here it is. A star, ice giant, Selena, blue giant with life, green Terra with terrestrial life. That is a very long comment, but I assume what he is saying is the planets in the system are basically very similar per star. Okay, yeah, I do see it. We got a Terra with life at the end here, and a gas giant with aerial life. The other one I don't think has life, but as you can see, it has a cool desert, not a Terra at the end, and a temperate gas giant as the second planet to the end. Both have a small gas giant closer to the star, both of which being ice giants. And we got a hot Selena right here. Around this star, we also have a hot Selena. So pretty cool. It's like a mirror system of two stars. Let's see here. This one is a red dwarf, and the other one is an orange dwarf. But very cool system. It's like a mirror of each other. Let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. Alright, this is another suggestion from Danu Ball. And he says, here's another weird planet. So we got a temperate Terra with life with a purple band around it and two kind of beige bands. This one's a little bit purple on the outside. And a really cool looking cyclone right there. So it's a Terra orbiting a binary gas giant system. And don't ask me how this happened. Let's see. Got a large comet tail there. Binary system. You don't usually see moons around binary systems, that is for sure. But is this technically a binary system, or is this just a moon of this gas giant with less density? Let's find out. And it looks like they are technically a binary system, and that is a moon with life right there. Very cool. The life on this planet is marine life, however, so we're not actually going to be able to visualize it. But let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. Alright, so this next suggestion is from Oshi Jack. It's HIP 100-132-3. It is a Selena, looks like a dual Selena system, orbiting around a white main sequence star. Let's go ahead and get that off the screen. Or maybe it's not a dual system, it looks like this is just a Selena moon orbiting a larger Selena planet. Very cool. And as always with the horizon of these Selenas, they're always really nice and detailed and look very cool against the star light. But since this one's reflecting on that, you can see the effect better right here. Very cool. Significant about, or any significance of these, if they are cataloged planets, I think they're just randomly generated planets around a cataloged star. But a pretty cool little system nonetheless. It's basically a moon-like planet orbiting around, or a moon-like moon orbiting around a moon-like planet. The moon that orbits around our planet. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. Alright, so this next suggestion is from Jacob Grant. Ania with life. We're not going to be able to visualize the life because, once again, it is marine life. And the game currently only displays plant life. And barely, it's just kind of a green texture typically, or purple. I think we're orbiting some kind of yellow main sequence star, yellow dwarf. And we have a distant red dwarf or something out there in the distance. Looks like we are in the Milky Way galaxy. Nope, does not appear so. It does have kind of that appearance of the Milky Way galaxy though, so we will zoom out in just a moment. The diameter of this planet is 9,121 kilometers, so it's very close to Earth-like, a little bit smaller. Go ahead and zoom out and see what this galaxy looks like. There's no description on this planet, so I don't really have much to go off of. And it is certainly using the Milky Way galaxy texture. Interesting. Seems to be very common in this game. Let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. Alright, here we go. Looks like we are in some kind of galactic collision between a spiral galaxy and an elliptical type galaxy. There is no description here, but it looks like we have a binary star system, a yellow dwarf, and a white main sequence star. There's a frozen ice world orbiting around these two, way out here. And this one has a hot Oceania. And there's a little nebula in the background. Very cool looking. See if we can get a nice view of this. Very cool. Once again, I don't really have a description, so I have nothing to go off of, so we're going to go ahead and just move on to the next suggestion. This next suggestion is from the Interstellar Storm 4180 in his patented galaxy collision that he seems to always post suggestions in. Let's fix my field of view here. Galaxy, the one that just kind of stares at us. What is going on there? I guess it's some issue with the galaxy texture loading, possibly? Or is that just some craziness going on with the galactic collision here? Yeah, there's something going on with the lighting here for sure. I've been to this galaxy many times and it does not normally fade out like that. Oh, yep, the game crashed. Getting back to Interstellar Storm's suggestion, and hopefully this will look proper. Let's go ahead and fix the atmosphere here. That's looking a lot better. I did see that one galaxy that was looking at us. I did lose it though. What is you missing? It's kind of weird how the galaxy textures just kind of clip through each other. You could occasionally see that. But let's see what's going on with this planet. It is a temperate terra with life. And it has 3 orange rings, which I cannot see currently. I think I see the shadow of the rings. Ah, there they are. Dim. There we go. On this side we can see them. So that means the parenting star is probably... There it is. Oh, and there's that galaxy. Let's go ahead and touch down on the planet and get an idea what the life textures look like. Looks like we have some kind of mossy grass going on. Got some very bright eroded mountains. And I don't see where I can land really apart from right here, but something tells me it's going to be a kind of Earth-like sunset. Well, it's a pretty thin atmosphere, so we can't really see a thick atmosphere here. We are in a globular cluster, so we have tons and tons of these bright stars. You got a lovely view of the galaxies colliding together right here. So, very nice. Let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. Alright, so we're at the next suggestion, once again from the Interstellar Storm 4180. And the description is a terra with vibrant purple rings, or blue in your case. Are you insulting my my screen? These are, in fact, purple on my screen. They're almost a hot pink, so maybe it is inaccurate, I can't really tell. Let me throw it on my other screen real quick. Yeah, it's kind of a purplish hot pink, so that's kind of accurate. The color inaccuracies really come with the yellow colors on this display. Not really so much blues and purples and stuff. So we got a thin, now it's actually a very thick atmosphere, 11.1 atmospheres pressure, but it's also very white, and it looks like you can see kind of the night sky, I guess. You can see some of the stars, even though there's currently 2 stars illuminating the planet, so something tells me this is just because I don't have auto exposure enabled. So if I enable that, should probably drown out those stars we're seeing. No, it doesn't appear to. Very weird. Sphere and 2 stars illuminating it, but we can still see the stars up in the sky. Not something I would expect. Let's see what the sunset looks like on this white planet with 2 stars that it's orbiting around. Oh, there we go. That's a very cool effect going on. And we have the rings out there in the background just glowing away. Very nice. Let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. Alright, so this suggestion is from Mac the Golden City, and it is Kepler 22b in Oceania, a large kind of Oceania. Let's see, the diameter is a little over twice the diameter of Earth. I'm actually getting up close to 3 times, so it is kind of a super Earth, but it's also an Oceania, so... I forget why that actually happens, why large super Earths are typically water worlds. There is a reason for it, I just forgot what it was. If anyone can explain down in the comments below, that'd probably help a little bit. But yeah, I've been to Kepler 22b in past videos, and it's a really cool Oceania. Like I said, it's 3 times the size of Earth. And I think I might do a future video on something like this. I've never actually done a video on Kepler planets, like a fact video or anything like that. And I think the options are near limitless in terms of video ideas, because there's all sorts of different discoveries and anomalies we found looking at exoplanets with the Kepler telescope. As you can see in this game, it's randomly generated. It does have big purple rings. It is generated based on parameters, as you can see up in the top left here. But for the most part, everything else is procedurally generated. Major axis of 0.85 astronomical units away from the star, which is more than likely like a yellow dwarf or something like that. Because Kepler doesn't really look at too many large stars and finds exoplanets around them. But yeah, to find something that's like a Terra or an Oceania terrestrial world is pretty cool, because usually Kepler discoveries are mostly like large gas giants that orbit very, very close to the parent star. But let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. So here is Kepler 10b, once again from Mac, the Golden City. I don't know the significance of this one other than the discovery date is 2011, as it says up in the top left corner here. It was discovered via transit, so the effects that this planet has on its parent star, or the light it at least blocks from the star. And as you can see, it is a scorched desert, totally locked. And again, I think it is a large world. Let me see here. Yeah, the diameter is 1.47 times that of Earth, so it's a pretty big world. Let's go ahead and land here and get an idea of what this looks like. As you can see, it's very, very close to its host star. Ooh, that is a weird blue effect. And there's kind of the sunrise, if it actually had one. Because, well, it's tidally locked, so the same side of the planet's always facing the parent star. Let's go ahead and speed up time. A very cool effect. Let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. Alright, so this next suggestion is from Deck Burrow, and it is a scorched desert. There is no description on this. It does look like it has a comet tail, and I can't seem to find the parent star that it is orbiting around. But I just can't see it. Let's go ahead and zoom out. Oh, there it is. Okay, I had to squint my eyes. So it's orbiting some large red giant carbon star, it looks like, with a diameter of 1 astronomical unit. So to give you an idea of what that diameter is, an astronomical unit is the distance between Earth and the Sun. So this is a very, very red, or very, very large red carbon star. And as you can see, it has a burning away a scorched desert here that has a comet tail and kind of just plume behind it. Turn up the comet brightness. There we go. And you can see the matter from this burning away planet being ejected across the system. So pretty cool. But there is no further description on this planet, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. Alright, so this next suggestion is also from Deck Burrow. It looks like we're in an elliptical type galaxy. It doesn't seem to be a very large one, so we see a large quantity of stars. We're once again next to a dying red star, it appears. A red supergiant with a diameter of, let's go ahead and see if we can get this properly selected, 49 astronomical units. So to give you an idea of how big that is from the sun to the near outer edges of the Kuiper belt. Pluto, for example, orbits, I believe, at 37 astronomical units, so that is a very, very large star. Bigger than something like Canis Majoris. And it's got these really hellish red-looking rings, possibly just due to the nature of the color of that star's light that's being illuminated on this planet itself. So, very cool. A red Oceania. Go ahead and get a close-up of the star. Very awesome. Let's speed up time and watch the kind of solar radiation, solar winds get ejected off the star. Always a very cool effect. But let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. Alright, this next suggestion is from Michael Wong. He says it is a lilac gas giant. Okay, that's kind of cool. The like the shadows being casted across orbits around its parent star. You can see the shadows slowly move across the planet from the rings. Has some very large, vibrant rings, kind of like Saturn. And there's the parenting stars, not just star. So that explains why the shadows are so weird. And two different sets of shadows being casted across the planet, so that's pretty cool. It's not really much further description or any specified thing we should go look at on this planet. Let's go ahead and fix the time scale though, so it's not orbiting so quickly. We have this whitish, bluish, large storm on the planet. And I think we are in the Milky Way galaxy. We certainly are. Very cool. Let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. Alright, so this next suggestion is also from Michael Wong. In fact, we were pretty close to where we previously were. I think that's the gas giant we were just at right over there. Yes it is. This is a Titan with rings, as he described it. I think I have real planet brightness off. So turn that on because Titans are typically pretty dim since they're very far out in these systems typically. This one is negative 158 degrees Celsius. Its primary compositions is carbon monoxide and nitrogen. I think that's what CO is. I could be incorrect. And there's the two host stars, and the lens flare is just taking over the screen right now. Let's go ahead and head over to the dark side of the planet and see what this looks like. I'm underwater. There we go. It has like this orange and green sunset with a little bit of blue mixed in. But this is an example of where my TV could be off because that might not actually be the accurate colors. I will definitely find out when I'm editing this video though. But let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. Alright, so this next suggestion is from Catalyst, spelled with a K and two T's. Very weird way to spell a catalyst, I guess. Planet 1 is a warm terra with a thick atmosphere and bumpy terrain. Planet 3 is a pink titan with yellow clouds. I would prefer to just have direct links to the planets that you want me to visit rather than just showing me a star and telling me to visit multiple planets, because that does count as two suggestions when you do that. Here is a pink world. I think my field of view is messed up. There we go, I fixed it. And it has 3 bands. Let's go ahead and zoom into this world. It is very detailed. Normally these pink worlds are not very detailed, but this one certainly is. What is this dark patch right here? Oh, it's a volcano, but it's like perfectly flat. That's why it's so weird looking. Very odd. And this is a cold titan with a very pink atmosphere. And there's the 2 suns flaring away. And you can see the bright rings on the horizon. Very neat. Move on to the next suggestion. Alright, this next suggestion is once again from Catalyst. It is a cool terra with life in a binary star system. Lovely rings in a large blue ocean, and has an ESI of 90%. 90.7%. Okay, so we have some large, bright orange rings. Very, very large ones, in fact. It's the parenting star. I think that's the second star right there. No, that is a temperate gas giant, so maybe these two stars are just very close to each other. No, it doesn't appear so. Maybe it just has a second star behind it. Having trouble actually locating the second star. It is in a binary system, correct? In a binary star system. There's the other one way out there. Okay. So, is there life on this world? It does have life, but it is marine life, so we're not going to be able to actually visualize it. Go ahead and land over where the sun is setting so we can get a really cool view of these rings. This next suggestion is from the X, and we are in a very, very blue galaxy. We are also orbiting some kind of blue star. Nope, it is a white luminous supergiant in a binary system. Speaking of binary system, it looks like we have binary gas giants right here. Both of them have different axial tilts, as you can see. So that is pretty cool. His description is, binary gas giants. Primary gas giant appears to be tilted on its side, like Uranus. There is a couple of Selenium moons and a whole lot of asteroid moons orbiting the gas giants as well. Turn on dwarf moon orbit markers. Additionally, the star in the system is binary with a black hole. Okay. Okay, so there's the orbital thing. I think I can go to configurations and turn on dwarf moons right here. So, here is all the dwarf moons that are actually orbiting around this. A lot of them. It says there is a total number of 43 moons. Pretty cool. Let's go ahead and check out that black hole. Let's turn off the orbital markers. So where is that host star? Bring this up. There we go. Since we've actually visited one of these black holes, it's very cool to tear apart the light from the star with it. There's a comet right over there, and now it's just bent around the black hole. What it doesn't do is like the color shift behind the black hole. It only does the color shift when you're falling into the black hole. It starts shifting into blue light. And everything just wraps around you and fades away. And things kind of red shift a little bit as they go away from you, and then everything's just gone. But normally, or as I would expect, the light behind the black hole would be slightly red shifted as well. But it doesn't really do that. It only does that when you fall in. So that's a little bit unfortunate. But let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. Alright, so this next suggestion is from Torsten Mathis. I think that's how it's pronounced. I may have butchered the name. Sorry if I did. This is a cold titan orbiting a red dwarf, is all the description says. It has very, very large rings and also some kind of vibrant orange clouds. I assume this is mostly just lighting from the red dwarf though, not so much the of the material that's on this planet. And as you can see, it has 3 very large nasty craters, which are, my guess, probably about 9 kilometers deep. 9.05. Yep, good guess. They always seem to be. We did have one in the last episode that was 10 though, so that was a little bit of a game changer. Let's go ahead and go over to the sunset. What galaxy are we in? Looks like we're in some kind of ring galaxy or something. But it looks like it is procedurally generated, if I were to guess. Can't really get a good perspective of the sunset. Let's try that again. Here we go. So it looks like it just fades off to a red color as the star sets on this atmosphere. So is this a procedurally generated galaxy, or is this one that's been cataloged? It's using one of the standard galaxy textures, though. Yeah, it's just randomly generated. Let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. Alright, so this next suggestion is from Spudtato. He says, it's a hothead above your favorite galaxy. Oh, my favorite type of galaxy. Okay. So we have a scorched desert, it looks like. With a small moon eclipsing it. Very, very pretty atmosphere. The auroras right there. Really nice purple and blue color, pink and blue. See, there is 2 parent stars from what I could tell immediately, and some very, very large comet tails. Very neat. I assume they're only like super visible because I have comet tails turned up. Better. And as you can see down there, there's the galaxy that is orbiting around, or I don't know what a star would do up here. I guess it would still orbit, but I don't know if it'd stick with the spiral or do like a polar orbit or something like that around a galaxy. No clue. I think this is the central cluster. Nope, it is not. It is probably one of these. Yep, there it is. And here's the central black hole in the center of this galaxy. Now let's get a nice view of, like, all around the galaxy. Looks very white from over here, but I assume if we go to the outskirts of the galaxy, since it's so bright in the center, it'll have like a lovely blue tint, which it certainly does. I wonder what would make a galaxy this blue. I guess the birth of like a lot of new stars, possibly? It'd be a lot of newer stars, because older stars would have more of a beige and yellow tint to the galaxy. Not really too sure. But this galaxy is a really neat texture nonetheless. Let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. Okay, so we have another suggestion from Spudtato, and he says, from a certain angle, this looks like a peanut. Can confirm. It is peanut. Let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. And it's orbiting a bluish purple gas giant, it looks like. Pretty cool. This next suggestion is from 3DWA21. It's orbiting an elliptical type galaxy, and maybe a brown dwarf. Nope, a cold gas giant. It looks like a red dwarf. And this is a tidally locked Terra class circling an M-class star. So it is a tidally locked Terra with, as you can see, one half of the planet is a hemisphere of pure ice, because it is tidally locked, and this is the warm side of the planet where it is thawed. The side is frozen over into kind of a snowball effect. So this side is always facing the red dwarf star over there. So as you would expect, in the center of the storm, it would be very, very warm. There is no life on this planet. And it's got some pretty weird looking continents on it, I would say. Like, this island right here looks weirdly smudged outwards. Let's go ahead and turn off the cloud layer and remove the storm so we can see the land masses a bit better. And, okay, let's go ahead and re-enable them. And you can see this huge ice sheet that just kind of scales well above the sea level of the terrain. And we have a mountain range right here. Very cool. Let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. This next suggestion is from Rainbow Chan is Dank. That username is a mouthful. And otherwise known as BD plus 36, BD by 36, 2147, I don't know how that's actually pronounced, Gleese 411, or HD 95735. It's known for being the brightest red dwarf in the northern hemisphere. Okay, 1 second. I'm gonna go back to Earth real quick, which is right over here. What continent is this? Off clouds. Ah, there we go. Okay, so this is Asia. Land right here. Turn off our atmosphere. And let's get that star selected again. And we can't quite see it, unfortunately. But if we zoom in, we can see this red dwarf star. And there it is. Let's go ahead and pause time. Actually see it in detail. No, that's as close as we can get. And as you can see, it's kind of approximating on a grid from this distance. But, very cool. Not too far away, as you see the kind of background stars drift. Let's go ahead and turn back on atmospheres and clouds. There we go. Let's move on to the next suggestion. And here we go. This is a suggestion from the user Totally Not Gay, who I think has recently reformatted their name a little bit because it has a period at the end now. This is a temperate terror with life, organic, multicellular, marine, and terrestrial. And the description is, terror with life in my game. Could be different for you. Nope, it is exactly the same from what I could tell. We have some kind of slightly illuminated rings. Got a gas giant or something out there in the distance, gleaming away. And there's the host star. And touchdown on this planet. Okay, so the green life on this planet kind of has a bluish hue to it, probably due to the overly saturated atmosphere. And this planet is a diameter of 18,000 degrees, or 18,000 kilometers, making it 1.42 times the size of Earth, so it would be classified as a super Earth. And it does have a large Selena moon as well. Not quite as far away from it as it would be from Earth, but... and it looks like we're sitting next to a very, very dark dust cloud or something, or are we possibly in a nebula? I mean, it would technically be a nebula, but... Huh. Okay, so this galaxy texture just has a lot of dark dust clouds. That's pretty cool. A lot of interstellar dust. And here's a little planetary nebula. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. Alright, so this next suggestion is from It's Johnny Gat, and it's a terror with marine life and one warm desert moon. Okay. Is that a moon or is it a binary system? Nope, it appears to be a moon. This terra here, it has marine life, so we will not be able to visualize it. Oh, smacked right into the ground. We have this volcano here with a very, very large snow cap on it. Now look, we're in some kind of irregular type galaxy. A big cloud galaxy. Or we're in a nebula. Nope, it is certainly an irregular type galaxy. And I don't have the ID up on my screen anymore, so let's go ahead and go back over there. Noteworthy in the sky or anything like that. Not really that I could tell. Let's go ahead and touch down on the planet right over here at these snowy mountains. Had the music pause. There we go. Went ahead and corrected that. Okay. Really, really shiny snow. Not really too much noteworthy with this planet. It's pretty standard. Let's go ahead and go over to that desert moon real quick. you can see the desert has a very tan atmosphere, is illuminating the side of the planet. We could actually see a continent right there and a few large craters in the ocean. So that's pretty cool. And it gives a really, really lovely view of the kind of atmosphere of this planet. It's a very nice crescent moon kind of thing going on here. I don't think there's anything particularly too noteworthy with this desert either, though. But it's a neat little system. Let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. Okay, so this is another one from It's Johnny Gat, and it is a temperate desert. The description for it is a temperate desert with 2 major moons and 10 asteroid moons. Okay, so there's one of the major moons. Is it eclipsing the desert at all? Not currently. What if we reverse time? I don't think it's going to. It might. Oh, there's an eclipse right there, but that's not from one of the major moons. It's from one of the small asteroid moons. It doesn't appear this moon's gonna eclipse the desert at all, sadly enough. So, where is the other major moon? Oh, there it is. So this is a neat little system. I think it'd be very cool to see Earth with like 2 different moons in the sky, kind of like this. I think it would make for some pretty neat effects, like an eclipse on an eclipse while eclipsing the Earth and stuff like that. Or maybe like a dual solar eclipse, just super crazy events like that that would happen. Or maybe like all parts of the night sky are just illuminated by the reflection of the sun on these moons, like currently this side of the planet is. I'm flying way too fast. I think it'd make for some very neat effects. And even the night sky has a really cool looking glow because of that moon's reflection right there. And here comes the sunrise. And that might just be the thumbnail for this video right there. I think that looks very neat. But let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. This next one isn't from Andromeda, as always, no description. Let's see what we got here. We got some incredibly large rings. Very, very, what would you say? Saturated? They're blocking the light, certainly. Thick, dense, probably the word I'm looking for. And we got these lovely eroded mountains on this warm terra with life. Life is marine and terrestrial. It's kind of got that generic life texture going on, and some really, really well generated mountains. We probably got a better visualization of the life texture from over here, and yeah, it's that standard life texture that it's not really identifiable. It just kind of saturates a lot of the planets. And it looks like we are again in some kind of... What is that? We're in a regular type galaxy, but what is that? Is that some kind of nebula or collision or... Is this cataloged? ARP-148 disk. And ARP-148. I've never seen this galaxy before. This is actually a new one to me. I've never seen this texture or anything. This is pretty neat. I'm gonna have to definitely look into this one. Well, let's go ahead and just bookmark it real quick. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to look into that one a little bit more in the future. But very cool suggestion. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Okay, so here we go. Moving on to the next suggestion, again from Andromeda. I see an elliptical type galaxy in this lovely blue world. It's got a bunch of active volcanoes on it. You can see them kind of glowing, like that one over there in the dark sky. And a bunch more just kind of clustered together. And there is a blue star. Blue supergiant. Okay. Now with Andromeda, it's not so much about the planet, but more the night sky. So we got a blue supergiant right there. We got this elliptical type galaxy. Randomly generated. And we have this galaxy in the background, which I think might be IC 1101. Quite huge. But it's not... Can we do something about that? Can we make this brighter? Kick up that overbright. Oh, that doesn't do much. There we go. Now we can get an idea of how big IC 1101 actually is. Back to that galaxy we were just at. For comparison. Here's the galaxy we were just in. This little thing that just looks like a tiny globular cluster compared to IC 1101. Look at how tiny that elliptical galaxy is. And then look at IC 1101. A lot bigger. Interesting. Go ahead and default all this, and let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. Alright, so this next one is from Mr. Star Wars. Out of purple galaxy of some kind. This is a bit weird. Which galaxy is this? Randomly generated. Okay. We have a temperate gas giant. We have clouds and stuff disabled apparently. Because the game crashed a moment ago. A very cool looking temperate desert, or Terra with life it looks like. Purple gas giant, there's the parenting star, and apparently this moon rotates almost every 24 hours, so it's a lot like Earth. But orbiting around this gas giant. The ESI of this planet is 87%, which is Earth similarity. Very neat. Looks trippy with a super eye field to be like that. Let's see if we can get a view of this gas giant. There we go. As you can see, the gas giant illuminates the night sky really well. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. Alright, so this next suggestion is from Mr. Star Wars. It is a tundra moon orbiting a gas giant with large Saturn-like rings. I think this is inaccurate because the ID didn't work. I just entered what somebody corrected, and I don't think this is... This might be what we're looking for. It's kind of tundra-like. It's covered in snow. I can't find the gas giant it's orbiting around though. I assume this gas giant is... Okay, very cool. Let's go back to that moon. And see what this icy world looks like. And touch down right over here. Wow, it is a very freezing looking planet, that's for sure. Not really any cliff faces exposed, it's just pure snow covering these mountains. And the tundra just kind of continues off until it reaches over towards the polar caps, where it's just mountains upon mountains of this weird spiky snow here. Neat. It's a neat view. Maybe that is contender for thumbnail for this video. Haven't really had a snowy planet as a thumbnail for these. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. This next suggestion is from Nay, and they say it's a temperate Terra moon, which orbits a gas giant in a Wolf Riot binary system. Interesting. I saw the small Magellanic cloud, I think. Is that what I just saw a moment ago? So yeah, I think we're in the large Magellanic cloud. So we have this temperate Terra here, a super bright star, and there's a small Magellanic cloud. I don't think that is R136A1 though. It is not. It's a randomly generated Wolf Riot star. Interesting. And here's the gas giant, heated up. As well. It's orbiting a Wolf Riot star, I would expect it to be. Now let's go ahead and zoom into the star. Okay, moving a little bit too fast here. If we slowly zoom in past this blinding diffraction spike, we can see that there's a blue main sequence star and a Wolf Riot star. Very cool. Riot stars typically orbit in like binaries, or like binaries upwards of like 16 stars. They are typically large, massive stars in a cluster that are typically in like a super bright nebula. Since we're at the Large Magellanic Cloud, I could show R136A1, which is in this super bright nebula right here. One of the brightest nebulas we actually know about, if not the brightest. And this is also the most massive star that we know about. Let's go ahead and zoom into it. I have videos on this for anyone who has not seen them, including one of my animated videos. But yeah, this is pretty cool. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. So I think I've visited all these suggestions for this video. If I missed your suggestion, feel free to repost it in the comments of this video. And keep in mind that for all future videos, I'm going to be doing one suggestion per person. It's really unfortunate that I have to kind of go that direction, but there's just so many suggestions. I'm hoping this new format works out pretty well, of me just doing individual clips of each suggestion, because what that allows me to do is that allows me to record people's suggestions throughout the week, not just all in one sitting. So as people suggest them, I can do a quick little 2-minute video or something clip of me visiting that suggestion, and then just compile it all into one video at the end of like a week or two, or whenever I plan on releasing the next video. Anyways, if you guys like the video, please subscribe, and until next time, I'll see you in the next video.